Hey guys, it's Bars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the ninth episode of my series where I share 15 of my favorite beats from select producers. And today we have someone who frankly should have been in the series way earlier, that being LP, arguably the greatest rapper-producer alive today. Before I get to the main 15, I have a set of honorable mentions, but even before those, I do want to name a few other killer beats that had to be cut due to space like The Dance by Murs, A Report to the Shareholders slash Kill Your Masters off Run the Jewels 3, Del the Funky Homo Sapiens, Offspring, Relax by Das Racist, Gun for the Whole Family by Aesop Rock, Run the Numbers by LP himself, the title track off the first Run the Jewels LP, and while this one might be a bit of a shock to some people, I'm also leaving the iconic track Last Good Sleep off of the list only because I already have so many tracks from Fun Crusher Plus and other classics, where I slightly prefer the instrumentals to that one. Getting into our honorable mentions, which are in no particular order, first we have Mr. Liff, and while I had a number of beats off his I Phantom LP originally, like many others, I just cut it down to my top track from that artist, and that actually came through 1999's Arise. While you'll definitely see a few more Killer Mike collabs in here, I had to shout out my favorite moment from rap music, the first album that LP fully produced for the Dungeon Family veteran, which is the opening track Big Beast. While most of the collaborations between El Producto and Aesop Rock ended up being cut, amongst all the other competition, I still couldn't leave out the iconic track We Are Famous. As much as I love all the Run the Jewels albums, I could only keep one instrumental from RTJ3, which had to be Thursday in the Danger Room. On a similar note, I only have one moment from the first installation of Run the Jewels, and I went with the killer song Banana Clipper with Big Boy of Outkast. Another talented underground MC who received a number of awesome LP beats over the years was Cage, and while he's someone else who had a few placements originally that I had to trim down, the best one in my opinion would be The Subtle Art of the Breakup song off of Hell's Winter. One awesome instrumental that just came out a couple years back was the Gods Must Be Crazy. The grimy and understated beat LP gave Armand Hammer for We Buy Diabetic Test Strips. The most recent beat on this list comes from the Grammy Award-winning Killer Mike album, Michael, and the only reason that the beat for Don't Let the Devil In didn't make it higher on the actual list itself is because it was co-produced by No ID, and I think you can hear a lot of his influence on that track. Well, you'll see this masterpiece many more times in the main 15. I had to leave at least one moment from Fun Crusher Plus as an honorable mention, and I decided to go with the dark opening track Bad Touch Example. Next up, we have Run the Jewels 4, and I've always loved the instrumental for Out of Sight, which has a great flip on the iconic DOC track that it samples. One of my favorite Koflo songs that was ever released as a standalone single, and actually might have been my introduction to the group, was End to End Burners. Well, I highly enjoyed the last solo LP effort, Cancer for Cure. The only instrumental that could hang in this set for me is the experimental and noisy Drones Over Brooklyn. And finishing out the honorable mentions, we have my favorite Run the Jewels album, Run the Jewels 2, which was the only project from the duo that I couldn't relegate to just one pick. And I had to shout out the song Close Your Eyes and Count to Fuck, which features Zach De La Rocha of Rage Against the Machine. Getting into the main 15, which will be from least to most favorite, at number 15, we have Fun Crusher Plus. For a somewhat underrated beat that I've always loved, which ended up on the track Population Control.
Bless my soul.
At number 14, we have the first album that I ever covered on the channel, LP's Fantastic Damage. And you'll see that solo debut a few more times in the list. But for this spot, I went with the track Tuned Mass Damper. For number 13, getting into another masterpiece that was sonically directed by El Producto, we have Cannibal Ox's The Cold Vein. And while that thing is literally flawless from front to back, in my opinion, I obviously couldn't have every beat from the album in this list, so one of the ones I narrowed it down to was Ox Out the Cage. At number 12, I actually want to stay on that personal favorite, so I can knock out an instrumental I prefer just a tiny bit more than the last one, which is a B-Boy's Alpha. Coming in at number 11, returning to LP's solo debut, we have the kind of underrated track, Constellation Funk, which fittingly featured Uncommon NASA, who just went as NASA at the time. Kicking off the top 10, we have Run the Jewels 2, where LP gave us one of his most memorable and epic opening tracks ever, which resulted in Jeopardy. For number 9, we actually stay on RTJ2 for my favorite beat on that entire album, which is definitely Oh My Darling Don't Cry. At number 8, we have a pretty unique El Producto beat, where amongst all the heavy noise and crunchy drums of Fantastic Damage, we get the abstract and heartbreaking yet kind of beautiful breakup song, T.O.J. or Time Out of Joint. For number 7, we have my second favorite beat off of Company Flow's game-changing debut, and that's the enigmatic, totally one-of-a-kind instrumental for The Fire in Which You Burn, which is so complex and avant-garde that even the most seasoned MC would struggle to find a pocket on it. Returning to the cold vein for number 6, we had the hard-hitting and enigmatic beat for Raspberry Fields.
Hip hop distribution.
And taking the 5th place spot, staying on Canox's magnum opus, we have the bizarre yet super addicting instrumental for the track Ridiculoid. Coming in at number 4, the highest placing track from Fantastic Damage, definitely had to be Deep Space 9mm, as that song has some of the best drums in the entire genre. Taking the third place spot, we once again return to Cannibal Ox for the colorful, moody, and frankly just stellar instrumental for the track Pigeon. And coming in as the runner-up, we have my favorite track to come off of the Cold Vein, which actually comes in the form of the opening track. Because frankly, the song Iron Galaxy blew my mind in a way that very few pieces of music have. However, as much as I adore Cannibal Ox and all the other artists and albums I mentioned, the cream of the crop for me can be found on Fun Crusher Plus through the track 8 Steps to Perfection, which is literally a top 10 hip hop beat of all time for me personally. And with that, we've now reached the end of the list, but feel free to recommend any other producers that you would like to see in this series. And if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your ranking of the best LP instrumentals would be, as well as what classic ones I left off. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.